The San Antonio Spurs beat the New York Knicks last night in a must-win game in Madison Square Garden. 1 down, 3 to go. What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. What a fantastic win last night by our Spurs. And on this channel, we have talked about ways the Spurs can come back in this series. Well, let's see if they did what we've been asking in Game 3 last night. First up, Victor Wembanyama. Get him going early. They did. 6 field goal attempts in the first quarter. In game number 2, he had 4 field goal attempts in the entire first half. What's also nice about that is he was doing work in the paint. He was getting lob attempts, dunking, doing a lot of work around the rim. That's where Wemby thrives. And when he's cooking in the paint, he is so difficult to deal with, and he did that last night, and you can see the results. Up next, stop chucking threes. They aren't going in. Stop shooting them. And for the most part, this is kind of a yes and no. The team as a whole, I think, kind of did this, but I got to call out De'Aaron Fox and Dylan Harper. Fox was 0 for 5 from 3, and Harper was 1 of 8. That is a combined 1 of 13. That is 7.5%. If they're not going in, stop.
Stop it. Get some help.
There you go. Pass it to your teammates. Take a shorter shot. Whatever it is, stop chucking threes. One thing we talked about on the channel a lot is stop double teaming and leaving guys open. And they sort of did this last night, except Josh Hart, who was open quite a bit. Now, he only hit 4 3-pointers, but he was 4 of 7 from 3, and he was open a lot more than I would have liked. And I get, in the playoffs, up until last night, Josh Hart was shooting 28% from 3, and if he was normally a 28% shooter in the regular season, I'd say, okay, maybe leave him open. But he shot 41% from the field this year with the Knicks, so he was struggling in the playoffs. He didn't struggle last night. Don't leave guys open in the corners. That drives me crazy. Make your free throws. And for the most part, actually minus Keldon Johnson, sorry Keldon, who went 1 for 4 from the line, which is below Shaq levels of badness. The rest of the team did go 24 of 28, which is an 86% clip. I can absolutely live with 86%. I can't live with below 70%. So overall, that was much better last night. But speaking of Keldon Johnson, I want to go to the bench, because we have talked about our bench needs to get going. And while the bench was not phenomenal last night, Harper really struggled with his shot last night. 9 boards, 4 assists, no turnovers. The defense were all on point, but his shot was not there. But our bench did outscore the Knicks bench 25-22. I'll take that as a small victory. They outscored them. And also, say what you will about Keldon's offensive performance and his free throw shooting. He was playing Karl Anthony Towns hard last night, and while he was on the floor, the Spurs were actually a plus 14. So Keldon, maybe doing some little things that I couldn't see while I was calling the game last night. You see Harrison Barnes circled there, or squared there if you want. I did not play. 0 minutes for HB. We'll go ahead and circle back to that in just a few moments, but one thing we've also talked a lot about on this channel is pound the rock for 48 minutes. And they did a great job for 36. We've seen many games where the Spurs won a quarter, maybe a half, and in this particular game, they outscored the Knicks in every quarter, minus the second, which was just a disaster. The Spurs got outscored 42-24. My stress levels were up very high at that point because we were up by 11 after the first, and then we're down going into the half. Credit to Ms. TSR for staying calm through the whole thing, but I had seen the script before, and I was really afraid that it was going to play out the same way again. Thankfully, we had a spurred quarter and then closed them off in the fourth. On a side note, I do want to say Mitch Johnson, I thought was good, much better. Good with his timeouts, good with his challenges, etc. And I got to give a shout out to Stephon Castle having a huge game last night. Really kept us in it, played phenomenal. Wemby postgame, this is high praise, said Stephon Castle might be the most mature player on the team. Okay. If the Spurs keep doing what we talked about, I do think they can win this series, but there's 2 other things that I want to talk about to keep an eye on moving forward. We're going back to Harrison Barnes. I mentioned his 0 minutes, and if you look at his performance so far in the playoffs, it's not been stellar. In the last 5 games, if you take out that garbage time game against OKC where the Spurs won 118-91, he hasn't scored. I know it's limited minutes. It's very limited minutes. But in 17 minutes versus the Knicks, he's given us 0. And if you add in those 2 OKC games where he didn't score, that is, 24 minutes without scoring a point. And he's out there for, of course, leadership and experience. But at this point, he's a scorer. That's his job, to hit threes, right? And he's not hitting threes and not even taking shots. Only 5 minutes. I mean, granted, I don't expect a lot from him, but I expected more. And apparently the Spurs did too, because now he did not play last night. Will Harrison Barnes continue to sit on the bench the rest of this series, or will we get some playing time again? And with his playing time being drastically cut throughout the playoffs, this now puts into question whether he'll be a Spur or not next year. He is sure as heck is not going to be on the roster if he's expecting the $18 million that he got this year. Where 18 or 19 million, the Spurs are absolutely not going to pay that much for somebody to sit on the bench. Although Kelly Olynyk, they're not going to pay that much again. And I also want to talk about this. I saw this from Pounding the Rock this morning. Game known about last night. I thought this was actually really interesting. And because I call these games, I don't quite see the same things that you guys do. But I really would like your feedback in that and this, and see what you guys think. The Carter Bryant minutes remain a mystery to all of us at Pounding the Rock. He's had flashes of brilliance, even in this game. But it's not a coincidence that the Knicks have made comebacks in all 3 games, starting in the second quarter, when he usually checks in. It's absolutely baffling that Mitch insists on playing him against a veteran New York team that feasts on inexperience when there are more minutes to be given to a guy like Dylan Harper. Do you agree with that or disagree with that? I did look, and the Spurs were a -9 in the 4 minutes that Carter Bryant played last night, and all of his minutes were in the second quarter, which the Spurs lost, as you saw earlier. It's tying it back to that, 42-24. Should Carter Bryant's minutes be restricted to none? Should we cut his 4 minutes? Has it been that bad? Maybe it has, and I'm not seeing it. Give us 4 minutes to, I don't know. Should we go with the 8-man rotation, the 5 starters, plus more minutes to Dylan, Luke, and Keldon? In the playoffs, this is usually where you tighten your rotations. We also don't want our starters and our guys to be tired. Then again, there's only a few games left in the year, so you got to go all out. I don't know. This is interesting. Small sample size with Carter Bryant, but he is a negative for the entire series, a -13, and I do wonder if there's and I don't know where this is. That's why I'm reaching out to you guys here. Plus, I do these on my break, so I have very limited time. Has New York's runs, were they, because I think we've been up in, 2 out of the 3 games in the first quarter, or have we been up in all 3 games in the first? When Carter Bryant is checked in late first quarter or second quarter, is that when the tide has turned in every game? If that is the case, and I'm sure the Spurs coaches have access to that and know this, if that's the case, then he cannot be played. I want Carter Bryant to develop. I think he's going to be a fantastic player for us. But he's also a rookie that might not be ready for prime time, like Dylan Harper is per se. So if he's actually hurting the team that much when he's on the court, then he should not be playing. As far as our It's Happening thumbnail, It's Happening means the Spurs have momentum now. It is happening. They have momentum. They probably should be up 2-1 in this series. They're not, but they have momentum. They won in New York, where I barely saw any Spurs fans there. I wasn't looking during the stream per se last night either, but I don't remember seeing too many. But they now have momentum. They know they can beat him, like Rocky cutting Drago in Rocky 4. You see, he's cut. He's not a machine. He's a man. They know they can beat them now. I know they beat them in the regular season one game, but now they know they can beat them in the playoffs. I don't think the team ever lost confidence in themselves, but it's when you actually do it, now you're like, yeah, let's do that again. And can they keep going? Can they keep winning and win this series? Absolutely. Why? Because I still believe. It's corny, but that is now my motto for the rest of this series, that I still believe, because I still believe the Spurs could win. I could win before Game 3, and I certainly still believe that after Game 3. And if they win tomorrow, when they win tomorrow, it's going to be a new series. It'll be a best of 3 with the Spurs having home court advantage, which, quite frankly, not quite home court advantage with all these Spurs tickets being sold to New York fans, but they'll still have home court. Spurs in 7, guys. Knicks win the first 2. Spurs win the next 3. New York takes Game 6 at home. The Spurs win at home in Game 7. That's how it's going to play out. All right, drop a comment down below on everything we went over today. Very curious on your feedback. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, or you just want to help support the channel. This is Grady Compart, a Robson Spurs community. I thank you, and as always, go Spurs go.